Hey guys, that was probably really scary. Remember what I said at the end of making this? If you don't, you should watch the video. It was re-uploaded due to issues. But at the end of my box set review for Naruto, first half, part 1, volume 1 of season 1, I said I will be watching the second part. And I did it. So before I actually get into this is Naruto, Shonen Jump's Naruto. Popular series. I personally haven't gotten into it until now, so I know nothing of it. So this is a fresh watch. So, show you right off the bat here. The discs start from disc 7 up because there's 6 discs in the last one, and this completes season 1. So the discs just continue from there. So we have Sasuke, Gaara, I'll probably get some of these names wrong if they throw someone weird, Naruto, Sakura, Rock Lee, and Sasuke again. And Sasuke's on the cover. So in the last video, basically I explained who the characters are and all that stuff. I'm just literally just going to talk about this box set and where that one left off. That one left off, I'm going to put this down, right when they finished the written exam for the Choning exams. I might say things wrong. Actually, I should clarify, I watched this in Japanese because, in my opinion, the English dub is really, really bad, which gets to something else. In the English dub, probably the most annoying thing is Naruto always saying, "Believe it, believe it." In the last review of my box set, I said that he says "believe it" in the sub twice in the entire box set. Well, something must have happened because about once an episode, maybe once every other episode, they shove in the word "believe it," even when I'm not hearing the same word in Japanese pop up in each line. So I'm not sure if they're just fitting it in there because the character says it in the English one, so they're like, hey, let's put it in the subtitles. I don't know. But that's one weird thing about the subs. Back to what I was saying, the last box set ended after the written exam, part 1. Part 2 of the exam is the Death Forest, I believe it was called. And all the people who passed in the first exam moves to the second exam and basically have to survive for 5 days. Worst thing about it is the very first episode of this damn box set is utter filler. What I mean by that, I don't mind filler, but when it's totally blatant that you're watching filler, it's bad. It is a recap episode. If you like recap episodes and you just bought box set 2 because you're awesome, then I guess it's okay for you, but the fact is I just skipped it. I skipped it entirely because I watched it. I know what happened. Why would you tell me again? But that goes by. It's really dumb, but it goes by, and then we enter the forest. So all the different teams, which, you know, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto is their team, the other teams. I'm not going to explain all the different teams, but they go in, and the goal is that there are 2 scrolls. Now, one scroll is the Earth and one is the Heaven scroll. I could be wrong, I don't really remember, but I believe that the words, I believe that's what they were. So they go in, and the goal is half of the teams will get one, half of the teams will get the other. And they need to fight to get the other scroll, and you need both scrolls to pass the second exam, which is fine and dandy. Now, this box set, mostly the second half, has a lot of character development, which is great if you want character development. Does it get really slow? Oh yeah, but there it has a lot of good moments. The first half is the entire second exam with him in Death Forest. I know that's not what it's probably really called, but that's what I'm calling it. And I think the biggest thing in this entire box set is the reveal of the bad guy, Orochimaru, I believe is his name. And he is a snake dude who does snake things. And we basically figure out that he is the founder of the village of Sound, the Sound Village. And how it's not really a real village, but it is a real village because he made it a village. But it's not a village. I don't know. It kind of iffy on that, but whatever. And he attacks Sasuke, and he gives him this curse. And I guess the curse will make it so he will want to take revenge and join Orochimaru. I don't know. But that happens. He passes out. So does Naruto, because Naruto fights a lot, gets passed out, and Sakura's left alone. And there's a whole part where Sakura gets attacked by the other Sound Village people, and then other people from the Leaf Village that they know help in, and there's a whole bunch of character development throughout this whole box set. Has the most character development out of like anything, I swear. But with Sakura and Ino, they have a whole bunch of it. You get their backstories, why they're like they are, why they're rivals, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. There's a pretty big moment with Sakura in it. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you know anything about the show, you'll see a huge difference between the newer stuff and the older stuff. But yeah, there's that. And without getting too much into detail, basically our teams, the teams that we want to get through, and some that we don't, but you know, the main characters get through the story, or the second part. And then we learn of the third part. But before the third exam, they have to do a, I can't think of the word of it, but basically, every single person who got through has to fight each other. And if they lose, they get kicked out. And these people get to move on to the third exam. And there's a randomizer thing, and it randomizes each person to fight. And that's basically the second half of this box set. If you like fights, you're gonna like the second half of the box set, because that's all it is versus. The most notable ones, I want to say, is the best one, actually, is Rock Lee versus Gaara, which is the best one. It takes 3 episodes too. Most fights are 1 episode, sometimes they're 5 minutes, but usually 1 episode per fight, so they can stretch it out. But like Sasuke's fight was 2 episodes, Naruto's was 2, Rock Lee's was 2 or 3, Sakura's might have been 1, but most thing is 1, or it's just half an episode, and then they'll do some more story. And I think, how many people got through? 5 or 6? 7. 7, I believe, got through. I'm not going to say who, it's pretty obvious. Really, some characters who you think are going to get through, they don't, and it makes not a lot of sense in my head at the moment why certain characters didn't get through. But I don't know. Just trying to think. It's the best fight, I'll say it again, is the Rock Lee fight. You could probably search that whole thing online and it'd be worth, I guess, a watch. But we get through the fights, as I said, and about 7 people get through. 1 of them gets knocked out and is in healthcare. And other main characters are actually in critical healthcare. 1, I'm not going to say, is in pretty bad condition, to the point of where they say that he won't be able to become a ninja, which doesn't make sense later on, but they say he's pretty messed up. I just spoiled a little bit because I said he, so now you can deduce it. But we get about 7 people who get to move on to the 3rd Chunin exam. And then we get the reveal that the Chunin exam, number 3, will actually happen in a month's time ahead. Because the preparation, or what do you call them, the preliminaries, whatever, the fighting, and the Death Forest was in the same week. It was 5 days in the forest, and then right after the forest, literally right after, was the fights. And then we learn that the 3rd one is a tournament, which it's, you know, boom, 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 and then they move, was it, yeah, 3, boom, 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 and then they move up, and then they move up, and then 1, I don't know, I forget. But, we learn of the fights, they all choose numbers, and then we learn who everyone's going to be against, and I think the only notable one, notable 2 I can remember is Sasuke versus Gaara, and Naruto versus Neji, I think is his name. And yeah, that's basically the whole thing. And then we learn that because the month, right, they're going to have to do training. The whole point is when they train, they'll hopefully train good enough that in the tournament they will become Chunin. here's the thing, you don't need to win the tournament. There's not going to be one person. All of them become ones if they do well enough. If they show enough potential, they can become one. So you can lose. You could lose the very first match, and you can still become one. It just, you need to show your improvement. Which is where we learn that Naruto is going to be moved to a new teacher. I can't think of his name, but it was a teacher from the first box set of the grandson of the Okage. The perv guy, as you will. And at the very end, the very last thing we see in the whole box set is a guy riding a toad. Now, me knowing a little bit about the character, we know it's a pretty big character in the series. But for someone who just watched the first season and they end showing this guy, you're like, where the hell is a toad guy? So that happened. And truthfully, season 1 of Naruto was an okay watch. It wasn't great, but it was okay. It was, I guess, worth the watch. It's slow. In my opinion, I'm going to say it right now, this could have been condensed to one box set, and I think it would have flowed a lot better. Yeah. But, as I said, review of box set, this one. This one is basically 2 giant stories. It's the second exam and them doing the fights to get to the 3rd exam. So if you like fights and everything, this is your box set right here. But yeah, it was a decent watch, and I'll say right now, I might not get any more for a while, and if I do, it won't be for a while, as I said. The reason why I've actually did these 2 videos is because I want to watch the other big 3. If you know me, you may know that I'm really into One Piece, and I've never actually talked about One Piece on here, except for the manga. The reason why I haven't is because I wouldn't be able to give it the what do you call it, the respect, the whatever it deserves to talk about it. That's how much I like it. But the next thing out of the big 3 I'll be watching is season 1 of Bleach. Take that as you will. I didn't think I was gonna like Naruto, but it was okay. I've heard things about Bleach. We're gonna see what happens, and I'll talk about that. But at the moment, there's my review, kind of season 1 of Naruto. There's a lot to talk about, and I could take all damn day talking about it, but I gave the gests, and I recommend it for how much it was. These you can get for 20 bucks each. Less than $1 an episode. Basically all I gotta say about that. So thanks, and we'll see ya, and you'll probably see what else I got with this at the end of the month.